Well, the evolution of Bitcoin over the years is one of the things that has influenced changes in my view. Has proven itself something like 10, 11 years ago. Imagine programming of this, and you throw it out, and that's the idea. It has not been hacked. It has operated, it is built, it has come an amazing way over that 11 years, probably the most excited topic among a lot of people, and has been used and is now has obtained, the status of having imputed value. At the same time, it is one of those assets that is an alternative money. I think we're entering an era where there's going to be a competition of monies because of the printing of fiat money and the depreciated value. There will be a competition of monies, and Bitcoin is part of that competition. But there'll be many monies, not just crypto monies, but there'll be central bank crypto monies, but there'll be different kinds of monies. And even monies are things that you buy and sell. NFTs can become a money type of money. You own it and it's an investment, and you could say, I'd rather own it than own Bitcoin.
Has Ray Dalio bought any NFTs?
Not yet. Only just because, I definitely want to buy NFTs to just experience them.
Yeah.
Think I should produce one.
Yeah.
And I should
have asked that. Have you minted an NFT? You probably should, just to know what it's like.
Yeah, that's right. This stuff is happening.
Yeah.
This stuff is real, okay? And how it operates. But like all new real things, some are going to go and some are going to, it's like in the internet in the year 2000, pets.com could have been but maybe pets.com doesn't make it, and who knows. That's the beauty of the competitive system, that it'll evolve, and some things will be treasured and some things will be trash. So, but when I look at it, I think we are in an environment of, what is an alternative money? A money has two purposes: a medium of exchange and a storehold of wealth. And it's portable. And it's best if it's recognized in other countries. So gold is one of those. So I look at it as an alternative gold, but I look at a number of things as alternative gold. And I think gold is still my favorite because of certain qualities. For example, you can't trace it. In Bitcoin, you can trace who owns it, where it's going, and so on. Governments can't have that ability to trace it and so on. A gold piece of coin, it's not connected. I think not connected has benefits, particularly in a world where maybe connections could be more risky. And then also gold has been for many thousands of years universally recognized as a source of money. And central banks, it's the third largest source of money in central bank reserves. I don't think Bitcoin is going to serve those types of purposes and so on. So for various reasons, I prefer gold to the other, but it's a little bit part of my mix.
But then you look at it, it hit, I think, 69,000 this year is the high Bitcoin hit. Do you think it's possible, you mentioned gold, do you think it's possible it reaches very high numbers like 1 million that some people talk about?
I don't think that's possible, because the way I look at it is there's a certain amount of it, and there's a certain amount of gold. I'll use gold as a benchmark. The amount of it is worth about $1 trillion. Total crypto is about 2.2 trillion. But let's say Bitcoin, it's $1 trillion. If you take the amount of money that is in gold that is not used for jewelry purposes and not used by central banks, and I assume Bitcoin won't be used for jewelry purposes or central bank purposes, that amount in gold is about $5 billion. So right now, if you were to have a portfolio that has gold and Bitcoin, it's worth about 20% of the value of gold. Do I think it's going to be worth more than gold in terms of that mix? I don't think it'll be worth more than gold, but let's say it became worth as much as gold. I don't believe it will be. I think that 20% sounds kind of about right. I really don't know what the right answer is. And then there's the question of what is all of that pool of money, that, let's say, gold and gold equivalents relative to everything else. Does it go from let's call it 6, 7, 8 trillion to 16 trillion. Maybe it could double. It depends what it is in the world environment. But basically, if you use gold as a measure, it just makes no sense that it's going to be used that much more. Am I sure about that? I'm not sure about anything. But logically, it seems to me that there's a limitation on its price in relationship to other things that are like it.
Well, I like crypto because I'm technologically a dinosaur. I barely use my cell phone. So I talk to younger guys, I also know that I consult to like high school kids. They grew up with the iPhone. I don't know where my iPhone is.
Yeah.
But they grew up with that iPhone. So I know this one 19-year-old, she started trading at 10 years old on the iPhone. I'm like, what? I can barely go to Amazon on my iPhone. I'm so retarded. I'm a dinosaur. So, and I saw crypto coming out, I heard about it. And I think it went to 20K. But as you know, it always retraced, all booms, bust. So as soon as it busted, it went down to 1,000. Then I want to test the strength of it because I took technical trading courses. Technical is a volatility. And this here is fundamental, income statement, balance sheet. I'll talk about this later. So there's fundamentals, which is the income statement, balance sheet, and then technical. So I took 3 years of technical and I realized my mother was right. I'm not smart. It's best to stay with oil and gold, slow. But anyway, when I watched the technicals drop, I said, okay, so Bitcoin this is years ago, went to 20, from 20 to about 1, I think, or so. And I watched it, and I watched the momentum pick up. So I came in at 6,000. So I bought at 6, about 60 coin plus Ethereum. And as you know, your profit's made when you buy, not when you sell. So then I watched it scream up. Everybody's saying it's $1 million. I don't get sucked into the hype because my rich dad taught me early on, your profit is made when you buy, not when you sell.
What does that mean?
You wait for the crash.
Right.
Crashes make the rich richer.
Right. The profit is made when you buy. So you should be buying at those times when there's blood in the streets. You should be buying at those intelligent levels.
See, in 1960 and 1980, my generation, the boomers, didn't like stocks because everybody at my time when I was a kid, everybody said anybody invests in the stock market is a gambler. Now everybody's in the stock market. So how did that happen? Well, in 1974, they brought this thing called a 401k out. I won't touch that thing. I would not touch a 401k or an IRA. Why? Because I don't have to. They tell you exactly when to wear the mask and when to get a vaccine. They tell you what you can invest in a 401k and an IRA. I refuse to do that. But I don't have because as an entrepreneur, I create my own assets. I don't need the stock market. You do. I'm not saying don't invest in it. I'm not saying don't have a 401k, don't have an IRA. Just screw you. I'm not going to be told what to do. That's why I'm an entrepreneur. You like being told what to do? Go to school, get a job, save money, pay your taxes, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. I don't want to do that. So you crypto guys, you got to be smarter because what possibly, it hasn't happened yet, is a Fed coin or a yuan coin, a Chinese coin. China will probably have it before the US, and there will be a European coin. They want to destroy Bitcoin. So you guys in Bitcoin, you've got to be smarter. So as it's coming down, like I said, I'm still going to buy more, but when it passes 27,000, I'm going to back up the truck, just like I did when it passed 9,000, because that's what traders do. So let me show you that the bigger thing here is this. This is the future. This has not happened, but it might happen. If there's a Fed coin, they're going to get rid of the commercial banks. You see, the only way the money can go into the marketplace right now is the Fed prints money. They give the money to commercial banks like US Bank and Bank of America and Wells Fargo, and they lend the money out. But if the Fed coin comes out, they don't need these banks. And you worked for a bank, didn't you?
Yep, Wells Fargo.
And the only way somebody could get money, they got a credit card, real estate, or a student loan, right?
You need that credential history.
So if there's a Fed coin, Wells Fargo is gone. I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is my prediction of what might happen. Don't say I'm saying it's going to go out and all this. At the same time, if a Fed coin comes in, it wipes me out because the way I get my money is I have great credit. And like I said, just last week, Ken McElroy and I borrowed $160 million. That's the only way money gets into the system is guys like us, capitalists, have to borrow money. School teachers can't even get a credit card. So stupid. Or they get a student loan. What a rip off that is. But a guy like me will go out there and use debt I said here, I use debt to acquire assets. That's why one of my friends predicted that Bitcoin will go to 1.2 million. I don't know that. I just listened to him. He's a lot smarter than me, you know, but he says 1.2 million. Max Kaiser says 250,000. Some guys say, 100,000. I watch silver. I think silver will go to 100. If silver goes to 100, I make a lot of money. It doesn't make any difference. There's so many ways you can get rich in a capitalist society, but the moment we go to this here, we've lost. So I don't know what the future holds, but I think this is where we're going. So if this happens, my gold and silver are not in this country. I love Bitcoin because it's portable. That's why I'm very bullish. I'm very optimistic about Bitcoin because there's going to be chaos for the next 10 years. And Bitcoin will go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Ethereum will go up and down. Blockchain will go up and down. And then they're going to try and put guys like me in jail. Happens every time. So this here is it. This is our schools. Go to school, get a job, become a small entrepreneur, start a pizza shop or something. I don't do that because these guys pay 40% in taxes. Remember, money is debt and taxes. So they work for money, they pay 40% in taxes. They work for money, they pay 60% in taxes. So the small entrepreneurs, the guys who are just startups, they're going to pay the highest taxes around. But the big business guys like Elon Musk and Bill Gates and Rich Dad here, we only pay 20% tax. And we're inside investors. I put my own deals together. I don't touch stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETF. I'll create my own deal, like the water deal I talked about. I'm doing a Green New Deal, but I'll pay no taxes at all. And that's what financial education does. So this is school, this is rich. And that's why we created this here capitalist tool. So you can take control of your money and your finances and your education.